Hello, hello. What's up, guys?
What's happening?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Not a problem, man. Thank you for being here. Savage Sunday. You are in my hot seat. Hope your balls are nice and toasty.
I did not expect that line to hit right away in the first 30 seconds. But all right. Very toasty, Fran. Yeah.
Don't waste time. Jump every chance I get. There's gonna be some kind of innuendo or something smart ass said.
Love it.
No, but you guys, thank you again for being here. Appreciate you guys playing with my schedule this weekend. Usually I'm wrapping myself around others, but as everyone knows, I had a chaotic weekend. And go Buffalo, right?
There you go.
So I appreciate it. Now, would you guys like to? Well, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm Fran, of course, Savage Ladies of Metal, and with me I have Chicago's very own Hemi.
What's up, guys?
Glad to finally get you guys on here. I know our schedules have been chaotic and we've been working the shit, making it happen.
Yeah. I'm glad we did it finally, though. We've been talking for months now, so I'm glad to have us on here finally.
Yep, same. So would you like to introduce yourselves directly? Who you are, what you play, what you're about?
Take it, Tim. You're first.
All right, I'm Tim. I've been with Hemi for 10 years of their now 20. Lead guitarist, do a lot of the songwriting, lead the lyrics for Trent. But yeah, dabble with the keys and the music too, the keyboards. And that's about me, yeah.
Also, creative direction in the studio. He basically co-produces everything we do with our producers. So Tim's like that visionary that we need, the on our side visionary. He was like, okay, producer thinks one thing, we think another. He's the voice of that. A lot of times we just let him go to the studio on his own and do all that, and we're gonna meet him back at the bar afterwards. He does all the hard work.
So you're that voice in the back of everyone's head.
He is totally.
Try to be. I'm a little obsessive with like sound, sound quality and how things should sound. Tone is everything.
That is everything when it comes down to it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's a very appreciated. We'll talk about that later though. But yeah, I'm Trent. I'm the lead vocalist and bassist of Hemi. We hit 20 years this year, and I've been all 20 in one band, so it's been really nice. Me and the drummer Mike, also known as Gup, we're the two from day one. Tim's 10 years in, and Sean, who's not here, he is at 8 years now. So it's pretty awesome. So we're all a long time, we're a long tenure in the band, and we're all good friends too. That really helps hit 20 years. That's how you get to 20 years. You actually like each other too. That helps.
Right. That's rare. I mean, yeah. You guys are obviously rubbing something right with each other. So.
There's a lot of rubbing. Did you say rubbing something right? There's a lot of rubbing in the studio, I guess.
Rubbing heads.
Something's happened.
You can go left and right with that comment.
There you go.
Well, first off, happy birthday to you. That's as far as that's going. I'm not singing.
Thank you.
But no, seriously, happy birthday, guys. Happy 20th birthday. And so, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that in a few also. And you did mention the band members that we are missing. So Mike and Sean.
Yes.
Wish you could make it. If they can pop in or they're listening, they want to throw in some comments. We do have a comment section that everyone can say hello. If you got questions, ask away. I'll put it in. You got anything fun you want to say, I'll pop that bitch up too. Cool. So it's all good.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. So guys, so 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
You've come a long way. And original member. Hello.
Yeah. Two of us are, Tim's a 10. I'm out of 20. That's,
you know what?
That's longest.
It still counts for something. That's
long tenured.
Around a minute.
Yeah. That exceeded anybody else already. Like besides Gup and I, we're day one, but 10 years has already exceeded any other former member at that point. So yeah, we got a long tenure. We got a long history with each other, which is awesome.
Yeah, you guys have been around a minute, and God, I remember hearing you guys a while ago too. Shit, you guys have definitely come a long way.
Yeah, sure. We were talking about Scott Davidson earlier. He was booking us year one at the Nightcap. For anybody who knows that venue from back in 2000, early 2000s.
Yeah,
that's how you paid your dues, because you had to play the Nightcap to get on Scott's good side, and then he would book you at a better venue if you did get at the Nightcap. That's how you.
We all have to earn our way every time, one way or another. Yeah, I know this fucking story.
Tim, I feel like such an old man, like the old veteran in the locker room scene. Like, oh man, back in the day, you had to play the Nightcap, and then you got over. It's like
back in my day, right?
I need a Nightcap, Trent. I remember it.
All right. Tim goes to a lot of shows. If there's a venue to know about, he knows it for sure.
Yep.
Oh God, yeah. He's been around a minute, man. Scott's man, he's pretty much, he is like the main guy, not just in the Midwest, but everywhere. But he knows everything like the back of his fucking hand. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Awesome. And his memory's great on that too. My mind fucking slips left and right. I don't remember half the shit I said 10 minutes ago. Sometimes while I'm talking about it, I'll forget the hell I was talking about.
And I'm gonna expect you to hold. I'm gonna hold you to a standard that you're 5 minutes in. Don't forget anything just yet. We just told you a couple of things.
Not yet.
I need you to reference some of this stuff back in a few minutes.
We'll have a quiz on me later.
Deal.
So, all right. So tell me, what'd you guys do for your birthday?
Oh shit! Tell her, Tim. That was a blast.
Oh, we threw a 20th anniversary show at Liars Club.
Right.
It's a venue we've actually been trying to get into for a long time.
Yeah.
So it was actually really cool. You know, we're playing a lot of shows at Livewire. You know, some of the mainstays that host a lot of metal in Chicago, and Liars Club was always on the list. So it was cool to do something different for that show. We brought some of our best buddy bands from over the years. Some of them before my time, even like Miles from Exile. They were touring Trent, you guys?
We played with them year 3, maybe like 07, 08 back in the day. So that was a callback to over a decade ago. We've known them. We see them on the scene, and we're all buddies. We're now roommates in our rehearsal studio, which is funny. But we go back with them years. So Miles from Exile, then go ahead, Tim.
Eyes of Anguish. They're out of Indiana. They've just been they're one of the newer bands that have just been our tightest buddies. I mean,
I actually know Eyes of Anguish. I'm really, really good friends with David. Absolutely love them. I mean, the guys in general, they're a great group of guys, and
they're always down. They're
starting to work their way into Chicago, and they're just like, bitches, we're here.
We brought them in. We brought them into Liars, and we said, this is a good. I mean, if we wanted to touch on, a band from like our early days, which was Miles from Exile, and then you had Eyes of Anguish, who's like last couple of years we've done for a few years, and then we opened the show with Saint, who's how would you describe his sound, Tim? Like, how would you describe Saint's sound?
So the genre is technically witch house, right? That's what it's called. But it's basically like really dark, almost like goth influence, like electronic music. So he's a DJ.
Yeah.
He's got his MPCs. He's got his computer up there, and it's sick. He'll flip like metal lyrics over beats. And honestly, that was like some real fun I had during that set. That's so unique for a metal show to have as an opener, and I loved every second.
Yeah, it was great. So we and Saint is formerly of Sacred Monster. He was one of the doom metal bands in Chicago for years, and that's how we've known them. And we met them, I think, your first year, Tim, like 10 years ago. So we go back with him a long way. But touching on what Tim just said, we want to be different. That was the idea. Like you can have a bunch of the same bands on the same genre on one show, and it ends up all flowing together at some point. But we thought, let's change it up. And was a Witch House, right? So having a Witch House, electronic opener. And he's dark and he's cool. He's visual. So it was like, this was totally different vibe altogether. Kick it off with that. Go with Eyes of Anguish, who's kind of a newer sound. Go with Miles, who's kind of a whole different genre than us. And then we close it out with like our fusion sound that we do. So it was such an awesome night of like, you touched on so many different things, and there's so many different moods and emotions, which is why like we packed the house, like stage to exit. The whole place was packed, and everybody stayed because you had something different each band to experience. Bless you.
Sorry.
Savage. That was savage.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, you're fine.
There were so many cool other things that happened during that show. Like,
So all right. So what are some of the most memorable moments of your 20th?
I mean, the show itself was sick. We played We played about an hour set. It's way longer than we would typically do. We were just like, fuck it, like let's go. So we whipped out everything, basically the whole new album, the old album. We're talking like 6-7 song EPs, right? And then even some like really old throwback shit, stuff we hadn't played in years. And man, it felt good. We did some updating some of those old tracks. Some of them need a little bit of an updating to like modernize the sound a little bit. Even the stuff that I wrote 10 years ago. So take it down a few tunes, make it a little heavier, things like that. So we had some fun modifying the tracks a little bit, and they came out awesome.
Yeah,
crowd was hype. We had a friend of the band, I'm trying to get shout her out. She like made Hemi cookies with our logo on it.
Yeah, we had cookies made for the show. We had our an awesome photographer, Brian Santostefano. He's an amazing photographer. He did the whole night. I mean, he captured the whole mood of the night. We had Xavier Camacho is a big videographer in Chicago. He captured the entire day for a documentary we're putting out. He's editing that over the holidays now. So we're getting the whole day of thing put together, and we'll probably release it in some way, either YouTube or whatever. So we documented everything. I mean, photos of the whole night was special. We had our fog machine going, lights, and then the whole team at Liars, like Gary and her, like they're awesome. They're awesome. Like they really took care of us, and they knew how special it was to us, and they accommodated all of our guests. Like our parents came to the show. Like it was awesome to have everybody there, and then have it all I mean, it was such a sign of respect that we left the stage. Everybody's chanting our name. It was like, come on, that's trippy, you know. Like that was
That's
awesome.
killer though. That's awesome.
It's a great feeling. It was an amazing feeling, you know, to have that.
Did anyone bring you a cake?
No cake. We got cookies. No cake, but we had cookies.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever need someone to pop out of a cake wearing some amazing booty shorts, Dave.
Oh, I'm aware.
Would be all over that.
I have a reserve
like that. Every shorts are booty shorts, right?
He's absolutely all about those booty shorts, as we all know.
I told Dave and his wife, I said I got a reserve on the next print of booty shorts. I already told him I'm buying some, just so I can parade around the house with them a little bit. So yeah, it's great. That's fantastic. No, it was a good night. I mean, and to have our friends there, right? That was the main thing. Like, to have Eyes of Anguish there, who we just met 2 years ago, but they've become such great friends of ours.
And yeah, we threw that out there, and they were like, "Fuck yeah, we're going to Chicago!" Like, no question,
no question,
dogs, man.
It was accepted within 30 seconds. We're coming. If it's your birthday, we're coming. You know, so they came out. Saint, you know, Saint does, and he works for a lot of major venues in the city. He's a venue guy, and he's like, I'm skipping a Friday night. I'm doing this with you guys. Like, I don't care what it takes. Miles from Exile, same thing. You know, it was an amazing time. It was an amazing time for us.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So 20 more years. You think you can do it?
Yeah, yeah. What the hell? I mean, I don't know how angry I can stay for 20 more years. We'll try. We'll see what I can do. No, we'll see. I mean, that's the one thing I will say. Like, we don't do it full time, right? We're older. We got our jobs, but for the time we put in, I think we have, like, we're set up for longevity. We're not burning ourselves out either.
That's good.
You know, we're doing it right. We're pacing ourselves out. And we like to, you know, put quality into this whole thing. I mean, honestly, unless one of us decides to say, "Hey guys, I'm just tired of it. Like, I don't want to do it anymore." That's the only time it would end, really. Otherwise, we all get along really well. We're like, we were friends prior to all this, which is great. That was the thing. Like, all of us knew each other prior to being in the band together. So we have like this respect set up, like, already. Like, Tim and Sean were in a band before that Gup and I went to go see. You know, like, they were a different band. And then they joined us, and then they opened for us one time. And then we all got absorbed in one another. So it was like, it's been one big family for a decade now. It's been awesome.
Show was at the Double Door, I think.
At the old Double Door, if you remember that one too. Old venues. The old Double Door is another one we played back in the day.
No, we're not showing our age. I swear, we're not.
Oh, you want to show my age? We'll talk about when the Live Wire was called the Metal Shaker, how we played the Metal Shaker and the Elbow Room and the fucking this and that. You know, like this. I don't want to go down that list of dead venues, because then they're gonna be like, this is an old dude talking about dead venues in Chicago, and we don't watch this guy's interview. So I won't do that. We'll keep it modern. That's why I got the young guy. That's why I got Tim, who's like the young modern guy, keeps it grounded. You know, we only got like 5-6 year age.
He brings you back to today.
It's a 5-year age difference, but it's like leaps and bounds generationally. He totally keeps us young, man.
That's solid, That's solid, man. Literally 5 years isn't much, but that can make a big difference.
Big difference.
A lot of shit. It can.
Big difference.
Yeah, I mean, the music we listen to, our influences, everything. Just like Trent and Mike, our drummer, like, you know, come from like more of the old school sound, and Sean and I are much more like the modern. Like, I was a metalcore kid, right? And then I kind of grew into more like I'm more into like the deathcore stuff and the proggy stuff, you know. So it's a good combination of different influences that we all got. And like, I don't listen to half the shit Trent and Mike listen to, and they don't listen to, like, they don't even know the names of the shit that we listen to. And it's kind of works, so we always were throwing each other music, you know, and
it works.
Trying to get influenced off it.
It works.
That is too funny.
Like last weekend, you know, I went to go see Geddy Lee from Rush do a spoken word tour. And I'm like, Tim, you want to go? He's like, I'm busy. You know, like things like that. I mean, but honestly, it's been one of the best things for us, because Mike and I are one way. You know, we have a genre that we are primary listeners of, right? And then when we did 2 albums ago, we did our Undivided Intentions album, or 2 albums ago, I should say. And Tim came in and he totally, like, we had a couple of songs kind of frameworked out already. We were playing them live. They weren't recorded. And then here comes Tim with like this modern touch to be like, here, look, throw this on top of it based on stuff he listens to and his influences. And it brought us from here to here. I never played a 5-string bass until he told me, hey, we should get a 5-string bass, you know, and we should try upping our game. It was just traditional 4-string bass, and then we upped our game to that. And then our last album, Avalon, was the same thing. Like, took it to a whole other level with like just production and different influences and different genres that are influenced. I'm like, never would have thought about playing that stuff before, but that was like one of the best things I love about him, is that he pushed me the whole time. Like, we could have been stuck in 2012, you know, had Tim not brought us out and say, hey, listen, let's just push into a different direction.
I gave you guys props too, right? Because like you guys were totally down for it. You were totally open minded and like ready. Because a lot of folks wouldn't, right? Like
right.
And you were totally open to like evolving the sound,
You know what? And that's good. And that's key, man. To have different people who are on the same level but have different perspectives and ideas, tastes, influences. All of that can make an amazing creation if everyone just listens, shuts their mouth, and takes it into account. And says, "Fuck it, let's try it. Let's see what happens."
It keeps it fun.
And that's when some killer shit is created. It doesn't matter what it could be in everything, not just in music, but in many things. Like the Savages. I mean, we're a whole bunch of batshit crazy in multiple levels. And I'm the one driving that fucking train. But it's good for me to get sidelined sometimes, and they're just like, "Hold on, now you shut your mouth and listen. Here's an idea."
Absolutely.
And it's the different perspectives. It's just newer takes on shit. Sometimes there's even sometimes the older people though know we do have a lot of experience in different things and what we've done, what we've been through, how shit's gone through before, but that doesn't always come into play though. And that's what we need to understand, being the older generation, that sometimes that shit needs to get sidelined because this is now happening.
Exactly. Be open to it. Art's collaboration. I mean, you can, if you, like you said, you open your ears for a little bit, shut your mouth, open your ears, you can really create some awesome stuff if you don't just get, single tracked on right. Especially in a band, you're working with people. That's the idea. And if you want to be a solo artist, go ahead and do it yourself. But if you're in a band, the idea is to collaborate together and put something out together. Which is what we do. Which I love, and this new stuff we're putting together now is a whole different. I mean, it's completely pushing into another genre altogether, but we're open for it. That was the idea. Like, I think I literally
that's how everything is though today. Like everything's becoming more of that new metal. It's like just a collaboration of everything now. It's not just 5 genres. Now it's like 50.
Yeah. I love this new trend of like, you'll have guest vocalists from another band, like hop on a song. I'm all about that, right?
Absolutely.
I'm also like big in the hip hop space where like features are so common, right? And it's so cool to see more of that in metal now, or even like guest guitar solos from another guitarist from another band. It's like all over the place now, and that just drives new sound.
Right.
It was a big thing that siloed metal for so long. So everybody was just kind of in their own little world, and they didn't want to do anything. Egos everywhere. You probably saw it, Fran, on the independent scene. Nobody's getting rich, but everybody's got a fucking ego the size of like Mars, right? And you're like, I don't know what you got an ego about. You're not rich off of this. You're not selling 1 million records. So drop your ego and work together.
Right.
And I mean, believe me, all the thoughts crossed my mind. Now it's like you have collaboration. Like Tim mentioned, the hip hop world, they're all about that. Like that's what helps them all grow at the same time. Metal's doing that now, which is great. I've already thought about I'm going to contact Joey at Eyes of Anguish. You guys want to do some guest vocal? Absolutely, jump on this. Don't have Saint jump in with some kind of electronic work, whatever. Things like that, like Miles from Exiles are roommates now. Hey, Tony, you want to jump in and do a guest solo or do a double track with Tim and Sean, whatever, like the options are there. Why close yourself off if you can grow together? And on top of that, it's promotion. You have somebody from a different band join you. Well, then they're going to plug your record too at the same time. Hey, I'm on this. All their people now know about it. Things like that. Why close yourself off? That's really what worked in hip hop. We talk about all the time as a band, like the hip hop genre grew by doing that. It's like planting seeds everywhere. Metal siloed for a long time, but it's finally opening up, and I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely the same.
Yeah.
So do you where Hemi was 20 years ago? Are your goals still the same, or have they changed?
Oh man. All right. I'll take the first 10 years and you can take the next after that too. How's that? So obviously, when you're first starting off, like you think I'm going to sell 1 million records. I'm going to be number one. I'm going to tour the world and this and that. Right. But then you get hit with like realities, right? It doesn't always take off that way, but that's fine. The idea is you still put your best in there. And that was the idea. We had a lot of, shit along the way. I mean, growing pains. We started late too. Like I was 22 when we started. A lot of kids start a lot earlier, like 16, 17 to get your bands going. 22 was a little later in the game, but whatever it was, we got it moving, we got it going, growing pains, changes, yada, yada, and you kind of realize where you're at with certain things. Yeah, but would I have loved to have done more? Absolutely. I think any musician would say, like, I'd love to have done more. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. But I think we've done a lot of awesome stuff too. And it's like at one point I was regretting not doing enough, but then I kind of get to a point where things started really kicking off for us a lot more. And I'm like, wait, I got to stop and smell the roses. We did a lot of cool shit, and we might not have sold 1 million records, but our music's been on television several times, a couple
Right.
years ago. We licensed our music out for pay-per-views and wrestling shows and,
Yeah, I want to
GoPro,
talk about that too. That's cool.
things like that, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
those things are cool too. And we're not done. We're still going. You hit 20 years, we still have the Liars Club. And it's like, if that's not a sign to keep moving forward, what the hell is it? So, but yeah, go ahead. I mean, so for that second half, from your point, Tim,
I mean, Trent's more like he's on top of like the promotional aspect and he kills it. I'm more of like the music dork guy. So like all I'm thinking about is like where our music was before and like where we want to take it. And those are my goals, right? So like Undivided Intentions, which was like 2 albums ago. That was the one he mentioned. I kind of joined when it was like half written, right? And then I kind of I added to it and we threw it down. And then the Avalon album, which dropped in 2018, that was basically the album that was like, I was waiting my whole life to drop. Like I had a lot of these riffs kind of just like over the years ready to go. Didn't really have songs. Just had a shit ton of riffs. And I just never had the opportunity to be in a band where I can really just like record it with a group. So like, that's my baby. And, but I did it, right? So like, now the question is like, what next? And so for me, the goal is like, where, now that I've laid down this foundation, like, where is this music going to go? And that's what we're working on right now. But like putting something out after I feel like I can say I've established myself, like, is going to be awesome.
And the cool thing is,
beautiful thing.
Sean and Tim were in a band together. They're kind of here when it comes to writing, and just seeing them jam openly and like do riffing and whatever the hell they're doing over there on that side of the room. And Mike and I over here, like, just let them do their thing. Let them tell us what to do when they're done, kind of thing. Like, I just hear shit coming out of that side of the room that's like, I cannot wait to put this down on a record. And I'm already writing lyrics down. I got 8 sets of lyrics ready to go towards whatever they put together with music. And we're going to push us. The idea is to continuously evolve. If you're not evolving, you're dying. Like, you have to do something to keep pushing yourself in this. Why get comfortable? If we were sitting here 20 years later playing the same style and genre that we did in our first album from 2007, I'd be calling myself a total failure at that point, because it's like we didn't evolve at all. So the idea is to push ourselves, and I'm glad we did. And I'm forever grateful to Tim for that, because he pushed me as an individual.
Yeah, and this music we're writing now will be the first time that Sean's like part of the writing process.
Yes,
too, which will be huge, because like I was the new one in the last one, and now Sean's going to join, who comes much more from a proggy side. Like he loves Petrucci and Dream Theater, and he loves Rush, and he loves a lot of new school stuff too, but always on the more proggy side, like Protest the Hero and bands like that. So it's going to be interesting. That's kind of the vibe we're trying to go for the new music a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it's going to end up, but we're working on it.
That's the idea.
Does everyone get involved with the writing, or is it just you two?
It's all of us. Yeah, it's all of us. And that, to me, part of that's part of that respect I was talking about earlier. Like, we really respect each other's capabilities. And there's certain things like I can't do on the bass. I know I can't do them. And I'll look to Tim to show me, like, you just play that on guitar. What do you need me and Gup to do? Like, well, and he'll show us like what he's imagining, and we'll work it out. But then we'll all kind of throw our little spin on it, like he'll like, this is where I need you to be, and then get there however you get there, but this is where I need you to be. Same with the drums and things like that. So when him and Sean are doing that, like, they let us know what we need, and we'll kind of, rhythm section will take it from there, and vice versa. We'll kind of balance. Like, if I have a lyric and I need him, like, I need you to get me here, that's it. So he jumps in, and him and Sean will kind of collaborate on where to do and whatnot. So that's part of that fun. It's like we all end up doing it together. It's a full writing credit all around, which is, again, like, it's just that it's a team effort at the end of the day for us.
I mean, even the guitars, it's kind of like that. Like I've have like a music theory background from like school and stuff. So like I'm more of the songwriting guy, and like more like the groovy, like low end riffs. And then Sean is more of like the shreddy, like rager thrash riffs and like the soloing stuff. I'm not like a over the place kind of guy, and he is, right? So we can combine our forces here and come up with something really.
So you're bringing up riffs, so I'm going to bring it up. I know Sean had a video of talking about riffs, like, and what runs through his head and how he comes up with it. What runs through your head?
That was a YouTube short I made where Sean's like, it's like, he's like, that's how hits are made. It's true. It's exactly how it works. It's how we write albums. It's just humming them.
That's like, it's funny because you got everyone knows about the Jeopardy jingle, da-na-na-na-na, and shit like that. But when I'm like lost in thought and I'm trying to find my place, I start going Afro Circus, Afro Circus. Okay, I love the movie Madagascar. I'm not ashamed of that. That shit goes through my head. That's like that's my I'm lost in thought. Hold on, let me get back on track. There's
Nice.
no riffs there. It's just where'd this bitch just go? I don't know.
It's like a reset button. It's like a
I
little
will be
reset.
back.
Nice.
So that's awesome. So you guys had a killer birthday. You've come
Yeah.
a long way. 2 different genres of music.
Yep.
2 different perspectives. When Hemi comes along, slaps everything around, and you guys have created one hell of a sound. You guys are doing great.
Thank you. No, we're proud of it, and I think it's one of those things where we also we put a lot of focus on the brand too. Like we're big on merchandising, and we got our own hot sauce, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? We have our own hot sauce. We have
that's been a very big thing for the last few years, man. A lot of bands are jumping on that hot sauce. I need someone to make me a special savage. It's got to be garlic.
Garlic based.
I'm not afraid to keep motherfuckers away from me.
We
okay.
we got a formulaist that you can work with. We got somebody we can recommend to you if you want somebody to work with. We got
definitely. That'd be cool. That'd be something.
But we got in early on the hot sauce. I gotta say, we got in years ago, and then all of a sudden, like everybody on the scene has.
I do feel good about saying that.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like the last couple of years, it's just like going insane. Everyone's
feel good about that.
Sauce.
We weren't on the coffee train though, and that was the big thing for a long time was the coffee.
You know what? And I think that's a very good thing. I'm just saying, I'm on my 2nd cup right now. I love my coffee. I was thinking of bringing my coffee pot in with me, but figured, holding up a coffee pot with 3 straws is probably not too professional. So.
You gotta have one. You gotta have one brewing. Gotta have one brewing at your desk is what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
We might cycle back to the coffee because I love coffee. Maybe once that's now that's kind of not cool, we will come back to coffee. Because everybody had coffee and beer and then hot sauce. We jumped on hot sauce.
Nothing wrong with that. Just make it hazelnut. Right? I love hazelnut. I'm a sucker for that.
Nice.
But so you guys did a lot of stuff, and I know some of it was before you, Tim. But obviously you still play a lot of it because you're going to play the hits regardless. Like right here. You got the Motorhead tribute EP. That was killer as fuck.
That was part of that. Yep.
Yeah, Tim was on that one.
That was interesting, right? Because I say that we have very different musical backgrounds, influences. Motorhead was one of the few bands as we all sat down as a 4-piece and we're we want to do something as a dedication. Yeah, that was the band. That was the one that we can all agree on, all 4 of us. So it made
and that probably didn't even take long to come up with either.
No. And the really cool thing about that one was, then to this day, it's one of the biggest highlights is that Phil Campbell of Motorhead reached out and told us he was really proud of us and told us we nailed it. We had a great time. Mickey D also reached out. Mickey D is with Scorpions now. He reached out and said, "You guys absolutely nailed it. Great version." Because we did In the Black and then Deaf Forever.
Yeah, we chose. Well, go ahead, Trent.
No, I was saying we did. So Mickey D's on In the Black, and he was like, "Man, this is an awesome version." And then, like I said, Phil Campbell's on both, and he gave us a really good shout out. So it was awesome to hear from both of them, and that kind of solidified it for us.
You know what? That makes so much. It makes lets you know. When you're hearing from the original artists themselves, when you remake their shit, they're just like. Fuck yeah, dude. Congrats. That was badass. Awesome. And sometimes, and I'm going to say this, there has been times where the remakes are better.
Yeah.
Hey, I love our remakes, but I'm not going to say it's better than Motorhead, just so I don't get crucified.
I'm not saying that either, but it has happened.
Happens a lot.
Happened. And when the artist can even acknowledge that and say, wait, dude, you put a twist on that made it sound even better. I've heard that shit. And it's like, see, now that's props. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And they acknowledge that that you're respecting them and their music, and that you put your, that you're ready, you want to remake it, you want to do it because they are a major influence in who you are and what you are today.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful thank you.
Yeah. Tim, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just going to say the song selection for that was interesting too, because we wanted to choose 2 songs that were kind of deep cuts, and so it took us a while to figure those out. Deaf Forever is probably more of a hard rock, kind of more like hard, I guess you'd call it radio rock vibe that we went for. And then In the Black, we dropped it on that one. We made it super heavy. Threw it a lot more like original riffs towards the end there, which is kind of cool to do. But yeah, that was super fun to make.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Our producer, AJ Kolar, was an amazing guy to work with that stuff. And he really, he's part of this process with us, part of taking things up a notch and kind of taking the vision Tim had for some of these songs and bringing them to life. And, he'll jump in. He wasn't hesitant to jump in and just throw something down. He's like, "Hey, I'm thinking this. What do you guys think?" And just experiment with us. So having a great producer is very key for anybody listening out there. You need someone you can trust.
Absolutely. And that's hard to find these days, man. It's getting harder and harder. It's a damn shame to say that, but there are some amazing guys out there who are on their shit. You just got to, find them, do your research. Do research is everything. Everything, because especially with today, man. You know, there's a lot of amazing people out there who, you know, that if you know, it's something I hate to say it, but sometimes it doesn't matter who you know because that one person can be a world of connections.
Absolutely.
You know, so you got to get yourself out there. You got to climb out from underneath that rock, get out of that fucking box, and start scratching asses to get.
I like that. I start using that. You gotta start scratching asses, kids.
Start scratching asses.
Yeah, you gotta find that producer who's like the fifth. For us, he was like basically the fifth member of the band. Like, I mean, it was, you know, the way we worked together, and like he would throw. He's an amazing guitarist himself, and God, he's got this awesome like deathcore growl that I'm jealous of. But yeah, he would just like throw us little ideas and like little tips along the way. Like, oh, I can't connect this part to this part of the song. Like, I'm at a loss. So try this, and oh wait, that works. You know, so it was really awesome to have somebody like that. I know that's not what you typically get sometimes when you walk into your average fucking whatever $50 an hour studio.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're gonna sign out somebody to do a record, you want to make sure that they number one understand you. I mean, I think the first step of it is getting to know them, actually sitting down and talking to them, getting to know who the person is, because they understand you, who you are, what you're going for, what kind of intentions you have behind what you're making. Like, there's a psychological aspect to having a right producer. With AJ, he was literally, like Tim said, he became a member of the band. He's our friend. Like, to this day, like, he's a friend of ours. You know, we know him very well. Sean played in a band with him as well. Like, so there's a little connection there too. Like, we know when it's, like, we text him when his kids was born, but we text him right away. Hey, congratulations. Like, we're family now. That's like, we're joined at the hip. So like, you want a producer who's going to be with you like that. I mean, all these bands had it. You know, like Iron Maiden had it for years with Martin Birch, and Sabbath had it for years with all this. I mean, everybody had their go-to guys that worked for them, you know, and that's who you could trust, and that develops your sound. They help you push and whatnot. And obviously, sometimes you might stray away or try somebody else, but at the end of the day, you know who works for you, and you want to stick with something that works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And obviously, it's doing its job because you guys are killing it.
Thank you.
And you guys are, you guys are knocking out music left and right, and I know you're working on more shit now. How's that going?
Yeah, take it, Tim. This is more his department.
Oh, we're working on it. Like I said, we're gonna try to get a little more of that prog influence in it.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just bouncing stuff back and forth. It's in the early stages, but it's happening. My last couple of years, I've been really trying to learn like recording at home a lot more. But man, it's a lot to learn. I'm working on it, and that's a big part of the hurdle for me.
I like that.
I mean, I'm on a computer all day for work, so like you think it would come kind of easy, but man, it's a whole other beast. But ideally, we can have like full tracks ready to go, at least on a laptop that we can take in and be like, this is what we want to do. That's the goal. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, we're just throwing riffs around. We have a whole set of new influences now. Like you said, the last album was my influences at the time were a lot more like melodic death metal. Like there were influences like Arch Enemy and Trivium and Amon Amarth and Darkest Hour on there. Now we're probably we would like to see ourselves go a little more of the proggy direction. So there's a whole new like way to play the guitar and like scale without getting too like technical, scales you play and stuff like that. There's new ways to look at the music and approach the music. So we're going to try a lot more of that.
Yeah. And the idea is to not limit ourselves at all. We don't want to limit ourselves. And we have, this is gonna be the first time Sean's actually part of the writing process, because he was in as a live member for years, jumped out when we did the album because he was doing his own thing, and came back after the album. So he never got to be part of our writing process. So now we have him. So now you have his proggy influence mixed with Tim's influences and mixed with ours. And it's like, we're gonna do some really cool shit. And the idea is hopefully this year we knock that out. And we're kind of approaching it a whole different way too. We were talking about like, doing sessions in our rehearsal studio, getting that down, letting Tim get that all down, take it back, use that to kind of ingest into his computer, into his home studio, bring it back, like kind of do like a big, almost like a co-op writing process where it's like, we're literally taking what we wrote that day and throwing it into the studio, the home studio, and starting to play with it early, like right away. So like Tim said, the idea is that by the time we go to the actual formal recording studio with the producer, we have a good amount of stuff. We're like, here's what we skeletoned out. Now you take it from here and, let's clean it up kind of thing. Right. So we're going to try it like that. It's a whole, again, part of what we mentioned earlier, like just trying new shit, just evolving the process. Maybe this is the new way you do it. Maybe this is the way you do it when you have full-time jobs and you can only commit this much time a week to it. So now we have to get creative with it. Right. So we're trying it. I think to me, that's fun. The challenge is trying it. Like that's the fun part. There's no rush. We're not on a label that's saying, hey, we need an album by June. Like we're gonna have fun with this. We're gonna make it right. And I'll tell you a funny story. The one time that I ever, and it wasn't even a fight. The one time that Tim and I had a crossword, which was like this much, was because it was during Undivided Intentions. I don't know if you remember this. And I thought we were done. Like, I'm like, album's done. We're gonna print it out.
We're never done.
We're never done. We're never done, right? But there was like one note that was bugging the shit out of him, and he's like, "I'm gonna go back today and finish it." And the studio's 40 miles away, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? No one's even gonna notice it." But it bothered him.
That's some dedication, man.
It was.
You know what? You know, the thing with that is, you know, and I think artists, and I've learned this since then, right? Like, it's never done, right?
It's
like,
never done.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. If I didn't go back and drive that 40 miles or whatever to fix that one note, I would have regretted that to this day. But
he would hear that note
absolutely.
Fucking time.
It would ruin the entire song.
Every time.
For sure.
And every time he would have something to say about it.
But exactly. But
yeah.
Then we drop the album and you're happy with it. You know, 3 weeks later, I hear something else. I'm like, fuck. You know, it's like, you can't win. You gotta appreciate what's ready to go at the time you feel it's ready to go. Go with your gut. You learn from it. You know, it's part of how it works.
Yeah. But I will say at that moment, I remember I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you gonna go? And I remember distinct words were don't be mad at me for trying to make this better. And it hit me like right there. And I was like, he's right. Like, what am I gonna be mad about? You know, like I was like, I want to send this off and print it. I mean, so don't be mad at me for making this better. And I know, and like it hit me immediately. I'm like, he's totally right, because it's gonna bother you. It's gonna be, and if you know
like
he can
you're killing me, dude. But yeah, you got.
Yeah, no, I got it. That was the only time. I mean, that was that much of a crossword. That was the only time I ever got tense, but it was like 3 seconds. But
Bro,
I got it, you know, at the time.
That studio session was so stupid, by the way. Like, just imagine that. Yeah, like I literally went in, I was like, and then
I think he felt. I don't even think he charged us for like the time, because he was like, "You really want to come in for this?" He's like, "Yeah, it's really gonna bother me," and he's like, "Just do it, and you can go. You don't have to like pay me for this." But like, I appreciate it, and like Tim said, you're never done, right? I'm sure you can ask Paul McCartney today, and he'll tell you 200 things wrong with Abbey Road.
Oh yeah,
guaranteed.
Every artist will. You are going to be your worst critic. I mean,
Absolutely.
everyone is. You know?
Absolutely. Like,
I always find the flaws that nobody else will ever hear or see.
Yeah, but I think that drives you too. That makes you challenge yourself to be better the next time.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, I have 50 things I change about the Avalon album. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna let that happen to the next one. You know, I'll cut that down to 25. Whatever. Like, I want to just push myself to be better and better and better. And that's a cool thing. And we don't take pressure for it. We don't beat each other up over it. But like, it's more of those things where like know. Not yet, no. But it's in the back of our mind. But like, we know that we want to make sure that we do.
Oh, what's in the back of your mind with his voice in the back of your head? Something's gonna happen sooner or later.
I'm telling you, friend, it hit me that day. Like, that was the one as soon as he said, "Don't be mad at me for making this better." I never questioned his decision on that again. That was the day I was like,
it again, huh?
I never had to. I knew that where his heart was and his mind was with this. That's like, I never had to question any decision he was making.
That's
for the
beautiful,
band.
And that's all it took was that one comment. It's like, you know what? Solid. Get it.
Yeah. I'm forever grateful to him for pushing me as an artist 100%. Like, I'll never be able to repay him enough. I know he hates compliments. He's probably like, what the fuck are you doing right now? But I love the guy, and he's like a brother to me, and he's always made me better. He's made Mike better. He's made Sean better. He's been a big part of it. And all of us have done that for each other in a way too. But Tim's coming in was a big pivot point of the band. Like, I can't emphasize enough where we literally we were going left and we went completely, right after that. And it was like a whole different way altogether. So it was an awesome change that we needed. And we're now we adding Sean to the mix, and it's like, oh shit. Now it's
another direction,
another level, because like he's a whole different style. So it's like, boom, here's another level to it. So,
Trent, you talk about like when you and Mike got together originally in Hemi, like nobody barely knew how to play their instruments, and
we didn't know anything.
Going for it, and playing shows, and that blows my mind because I was like a musically trained kid, right? So like that, like
we didn't know
anything.
I didn't know a fucking. I mean, my only person, Mike Gupp was a drummer in a band prior to Hemi for a very brief time. I didn't know a fucking thing about anything. I know shit from shit. And we just started, like, literally my parents' basement. I have a photo of the first session that we did, and it's just a bunch of equipment plugged in. I don't know what the fuck. And there's like a bunch of posters and a bunch of equipment. I'm like, I don't know what we actually played.
That's funny. You plug everything in, you got the whole setup, and then everyone's ready to go. Now what?
It's like, now what do we do?
That's so fucking rock and roll. Like we got together and we didn't even know how to play our instruments yet. That's awesome.
It was awesome. But you look back at 20, especially this year, it's been a big year for us. 20 years is a big year, and looking back at that was crazy to think like, man, I didn't even know how to string a guitar, or plug in the pedal properly. And then I'm looking out at the Liars Club, and it's like literally front to like packed from stage to door, capped off with like our parents in the room too, which is like amazing. And it's like, wow, this is like, it's not the Rosemont Horizon or whatever, or it's not the United Center, but it's like shit. It might as well be at that moment to me. So it's like I didn't know how to plug in my fucking guitar, and that's just a cool moment. So that stuff's cool. That stuff's really cool. It's like
I got a question for you, Trent. So you play 5-string now, right?
Yeah. Thanks.
You're planning on going up to 6 or 7?
I don't know. That's the question now. I don't know how crazy. It depends how crazy these guys get with the guitars.
It depends if we go to 8 strings on the guitar. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I listen to a lot of that kind of music, where it gets really low down tune stuff. But I don't know if I think there's a point where we need to make sure that we're still Hemi at the end of the day.
Yeah. And
we might be, even in the last album, we evolved our sound, but we were careful to like maintain the roots of Hemi, and like that's got to always be there. Right. And I think sooner or later, if we just go to like straight on like 100% gent, tune down like 8 whole steps on the bottom 8th string, it just won't be Hemi anymore. And we're very aware of that too.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you a really interesting thing. When we put out, it was Undivided or Avalon. I mean, Tim, the first thing he said to me was, I think we're going to alienate a certain group of fans who are these older.
I was concerned about it.
He was concerned. He's like the older fans, like the ones who are into like the older style. He's like, I think we might lose them because this is a whole different direction for us.
Right.
But what we lost, we gained with new people. That was a cool thing. That was the idea. So, you're going to have that, any band's going to have that. They're going to see that happen to them. All the big bands will see that, but it's, but that's natural. But I didn't mind it. It's like, yeah, cool. If you don't like this, I can't force anybody to like,
right.
Whatever. But that, this new guy might like it. That's cool. I'll take that.
Well, yeah, and you're never gonna be able to please everyone with every song, everything you write. But you know what? What you will do is get more fans with every new song.
That's the idea.
The ones who don't like you are still, they still might come back. They just might not like, an album, or they might not like a couple songs, But then all of a sudden you'll come back with some killer shit, and they'll be like, "There they fucker, there they are." Now we're back. Now they're, now they're gonna listen for the new album. Be like, all right, let's see if they, if they're back on track and shit.
That's it.
It's like you can never please everyone,
No, exactly.
And it's not a goal. It's not a goal. It's something you want to, but realistically, I mean, it's not going to happen.
I mean, what are we doing this for, right? Like, yeah, we're not.
Exactly. You're doing it not just for yourselves, but for each other, for the fans. If the fans are going to like it, great. If not, oh well. Listen to the next track. Don't judge the rest of the album because of one track.
The idea is at the end of the day, you want to be happy with what you put out too. You want to be proud of it, and we got to live with it, right? Like we're the ones who have to be 75 and look back at this and say, "Oh shit, I'm really proud of that album. It really was an awesome moment in our lives." Like, you have to be happy with it. As long as you're happy with it first, you can. Other people they'll take to it as they do. But I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what we did. I mean, we owe people a new album desperately. I get it.
You owe them
big time.
Do you owe them, or do you owe yourself?
We owe ourselves too, big time. I mean, we owe the world a new album for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of what we have out there, and it's awesome. And it's a really good. It's a sense of pride for us to say that's out there, and it's forever. That's one thing I tell a lot of like friends of ours who are musicians. If you have material, put it out there. The fact that it's sitting on your computer is a tragedy. Like, put it in the world and let it be out there forever. Don't hold on to the stuff. Get your stuff in the world and let it
shit out there. I talk to so many artists that say they literally have stacks and stacks of songs that haven't been recorded yet. But they're just there. It's just building up. It's like, dude, you got like 8 albums worth of shit sitting right there. But you're writing new music for the upcoming album.
Yeah.
On top of it, and it's like you'll have, let's say, 10 tracks on your next album, but you had 16 songs written for it. Now, how do you eliminate what really gets on that album when you overwrite for it?
That's a good question. I don't think we've ever overwritten, right?
Oh, that sounds like the curse of the artist that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like, this is just not good enough. It's not good enough. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we do a damn good job of like really using everything we got. I'm not like just like every riff I ever come up with is gonna get thrown into your riff bank that's gonna get used. Like we focus on the song, right? And if it doesn't fit in the song, it gets cut. But yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with this. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, not everything gets used.
You want to have an oversupply of shit that's not getting dropped.
That's cool. That's cool. So
Yeah.
that's got to be hard though. It's like you got to cut yourself short. Be like, stop there. But your mind is going. Being an artist.
Yeah. And nowadays metal albums are getting shorter. General length now of an album, I think, is a good 8-9 tracks in like the world of streaming. As like a full length. 35, 40 minutes on some like the more really heavy stuff is like all you really need nowadays, like the really heavy stuff, right? And I think people are acknowledging that. But it keeps your attention. And that's kind of the approach we've taken. Is like, our last albums were both around like the 25-minute mark, and like we said what we wanted to say. We try to avoid the filler as much as possible, and just make every bar count, right? And so we walked off feeling good about it.
Right. So we got a question from Mike Slammer. I'm going to throw this up here.
There he is.
Do you all listen to different music and genres that may or may not influence your writing? Cool insights, by the way.
This is definitely a Tim question to start right away.
Yeah, I mentioned it briefly earlier, but I am deep in like the hip hop scene too, like underground hip hop stuff, and I always have been, equally, if not more, than metal. Which is always interesting when it comes up in an interview.
You know what? It's actually more common than a lot of metalheads will admit. Dude, it's so common these days. It's the collaboration comes up with some killer shit.
Yeah. And and I'll be honest, like with metal, I'm very, there's so many subgenres and they have so many different sounds. And, one style of metal sounds nothing like the next style of metal. And I feel like hip hop, it's a little more streamlined. And so for that reason, I do like a broader spectrum of hip hop, and I'm more down certain lanes of metal, right? So that's a big thing for me. Does it come out of my writing? It's really hard for me to merge the two. There's a band I like right now that we haven't even met yet, but a shout out to them. I'd love to see them soon. Called I Bet. They're from Chicago, and they mix like.
What's their name?
They're called I Bet, and they basically mix like
That doesn't shock me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's a rapper in the front of like a deathcore band. It's like if Acacia Strain had a rapper on it. And they found a way to like meld that sound. But yeah, I don't see that ever happening with us. I just don't know how to do it. I don't even know if it's like,
But that's creative on their part, to push themselves to do that. Like that's different. Nobody's doing that.
A glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Fran's frozen.
Uh-oh. Go on, Trent. What about you?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll still go here. But yeah, I mean, as we talked about earlier too, like we all have different styles of music. We all have different genres that we listen to, and like I'm into a lot of power metal.
My Wi-Fi's glitching. I apologize.
You're good. Yeah, we just kept going.
We just kept talking. She'll be back.
Yeah. Tim just started interviewing me. No, for me, like I'm into a lot of power metal, a lot of the European stuff. I'm a big like power metal fan. Like I love Manowar and Dio and Hammerfall and Halloween. Like I love that stuff. And I saw you interviewed David Schenko, which is really cool, by the way. I saw that from Manowar about a year ago. That was nice.
Yeah.
But like I'm into that stuff, that's where it's completely the other direction from what Tim's and Sean are into. But again, how do you make it all work for everybody? Like you bring it in together and you say, hey, my lyrics might have a touch of that influence to go with the music that they're putting together. So like I'm not limited to those genres. I listen to everything too. I listen to everything from power metal to I have Phil Collins on my record player right now. I have like the Against All Odds soundtrack.
You know what? Yeah, respect to Phil Collins. There's nothing wrong with Phil Collins.
I love Phil Collins. I have everything.
Phil Collins, Genesis. Yeah.
I got a ton of that. Right. So I'm listening. I got that. Like my queue is literally Phil Collins, Elvis Presley, James Brown is what's coming up on my playlist right now. So like I listen to all that different stuff. And
I'm an 80s fanatic. Every genre, every genre. I love it all, even all the weird shit.
But like, why limit yourself, right? There's so much music out there. I'll take a little bit from everything. It doesn't matter. I don't care where it's coming from, as long as it impacted me in some way, made me feel good in some way, and I can use it and put out something I'm writing or whatever. Like, I'll take it. I will never limit myself on art because there's so much out there, and you never know how a different kind of art's gonna hit you. So I mean everything, hip hop to whatever, Spanish pop. I don't care. It doesn't matter as long as it's good. It's good.
Exactly. So we actually do have one of your videos that that you said I could play for you, and I've got Revengeance. Want to tell us about that?
Oh man, that was that's the opener of the album.
Yeah. So this song, when we were approaching the writing, this was the opener track, and we thought this would be like a good way to bridge the old to new Hemi sound and like kind of lead to where the rest of the album went, which was a lot more left field, right? So it's really fast, it's really punk. And we just want to make something like a freaking like blazing fast track basically. And also there's a middle section that does get a little proggy with the solo and stuff. We dabble with some like major scales. So it was a way to bridge the old to the new, which was the goal.
Right.
I think we did a decent job at that.
Yeah, this was really cool in that regard. That it was, you almost can hear the point where that old and new kind of switch. You know, they kind of lend themselves to each other, and this
like
was
the transition of
it was perfect.
what you were to what you are.
It was perfect. It was literally like this was a switch point, and now you can go from there. So yeah.
Right.
So this was before Sean was in the band yet, so he's not in this video. So it'll be we were rocking as a trio during this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with your permission, I'd like to play it.
Yeah, please do.
All right, let me get a couple of clicks going here.
And the video is directed by Nick Michalak of Ravens Film Productions. He was a longtime collaborator of ours, and he did this video for us. So it's kind of cool, like a little cinematic kind of camera that he used for it, and single man shoot, which I got to give it to him. He was all single man shoot, single man edit. So it's pretty awesome.
All right, hold on, this is not popping up. Give me a second.
Thank you for your question, Michael Slammer. Good, good guy, Michael Slammer, checking in from where are you from, kid? Let us know.
Yeah, kill some time for me.
Yeah, I'm doing. We could talk about Roads of Demise, or your T-shirt is. Those guys are awesome.
Oh yeah, shout out to them. We played a show with them right around this time last year, actually at Livewire. Yeah,
and yeah, they were awesome too. They hung out. And they were total party like in the room at the Burlington. That was great.
Yeah, they're a good time. They're killer, like metalcore style band, and then the singer's also in Stolen Sun, another really good band.
Yeah, he's double dipping there. It's pretty cool. No, they're good dudes.
It is not clicking on the link. Usually it links up right away. Hold that thought. Hold on. I'm not done yet.
No problem.
But on that note, I will say, like you mentioned, how cool those guys are. Like we're around a lot of cool bands lately too. Like there's a lot of good dudes out there who are like hanging with us and at these shows. So like we've come across some really fun artists. I gotta say, like everybody's been like there was a point, and anybody who's been in the scene for a while knows like there was a point where it was very ego driven, and a lot of people weren't like collaborative or helpful or anything. I feel like a lot of those have been weeded out, and now you have a bunch of good people who are just hanging and having a good time doing this. So that's been awesome. You know, like our pal Scarson and Her Worst Nightmare and all those guys, you know, they're great. Eyes of Anguish, just fun people to be around.
All right, I'm getting really annoyed, you guys. I don't know why it's not clicking together. Let's see if I could play it in the background.
Try it out. You want me to send you a new link for it?
Maybe, because it's not connecting to Livewire.
Here, let's see.
I mean, I'm looking right at it. When I click it, it's playing for me on my end, but on a different link. It's not connecting. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'll send you the link right here. You can just do that. I think if you do the share screen, it should help.
All right, bear with us, everyone. We're gonna make this happen.
All right.
I don't have to be at work until 5, so we're good.
Well, there's I can show the link out here too for anybody who wants to see it. Join the chat.
Where did you send it to me?
There's a private chat on the.
Oh, on this one. Okay, I'm sitting here looking on Facebook. All right, I get to the chat. I don't want to play it directly from YouTube because it's gonna be glitched. You know.
You can play it and then hit the share the present option. Actually, maybe I can do it. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to do it from your end.
Let's see.
Well, yeah, I can do that, but it's glitched when it comes directly from YouTube.
Let me give it a shot.
I'm gonna be able to connect it right now without wasting 10 minutes doing it. Then, you know.
Here, let me give it a shot. I'll do it right now. Here we go.
Yeah.
Share my screen. All right, here we go. Let's see if this works. If you let it in, you show the screen, it should play.
Good.
All right.
There it is.
There we go.
Beautiful. Thank you. I gotta see why the hell that was just happening.
Nice.
That's badass. And I think I can hear the transition of the changeover, you know, when you guys were slowly developing your new sound. You get that off of there. Okay. Oop. That's not what I wanted. Oh shit.
Ah,
I meant just to kick the video. Well, tell him to come back. That's because it came from his link. And I was trying to kick out the video.
yeah,
Because he's connected to the video. He kicked him out too. Sorry, Trent. Come back. Come back.
I just messaged him.
I'm here. What happened? What happened? I don't know what happened.
So, because I was trying to kick the video off, you're connected to it.
Yeah.
So it kicks you off with it because you're the one to go. Because I couldn't get the links to link up with StreamYard for some reason.
Oh, damn.
So because it was connected to you, it kicked you out too.
Damn.
I'm like, come back.
Damn. Tim, you couldn't hear it?
Oh no! Hopefully you guys get it. Yeah.
Yeah, we could hear it. It was
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Damn.
Hey, I just saw your message. You said you didn't have any audio.
Oh, I didn't, but you guys probably did. It sounds like you guys did.
Yeah,
so.
we heard it. Weird.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Might have been a setting. Something.
Yeah.
I got nothing. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was near the end of the video anyway when Fran just so rudely kicked me out of her house here. But
Bye. But you came crawling back.
yeah, sure did. Sure did. I need the publicity. I got t-shirts to sell, Fran. I got to get on this podcast. You know what I mean?
We ain't done yet, bitch. I know. I got you. I got you. It's all good.
Nice. But yeah, that's Revengeance. That was the opener track of the Avalon album.
Right. You know, that's a great song. But you know, now you had me listening because you said it was. You can hear there was a transition from the old to the new, and I could hear it. It was a mild difference. I could hear like the slight offness. You know.
Yeah.
But it was a good off. Not all getting off is not always a bad thing.
No. It's a great thing, actually. But no, yeah, that was it.
Felt good to get some breakdowns in our music, you know.
Yeah.
Get the pits going a little bit.
Yeah, it was nice. I love that stuff, and we do it a lot now. It's great. So it was fun.
Right.
A lot of fun.
There you go. Oh, Mike did answer the question in case you can't see it, but he said he's from Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah, he's from New Jersey.
What's up, East Coast? How you doing?
What up?
I'm gonna make a new meme. I'm gonna redo Joey. Okay, he's a Dago, and I always tell people, how you doing? And the way I say, they're like, I'm like, dude, one day I'm gonna be the female meme. How
There you go.
doing? And I'm gonna wear the Savage shirt.
Do it.
Make it happen. Trent, let's talk.
Let's talk. I'm all about merchandising. We have so much types of merch. I'm all about it. So you throw something on a t-shirt, I'm all about it.
You know what? There's so much I can collaborate with all you motherfuckers. So many different ways and multiple genres because that's how we roll.
Let's do it.
You know,
we're open to it completely.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's go down that road. So, before we get there though, what do you guys got coming up? I know you're working on current music right now.
Yeah.
So you got any shows or anything coming up?
No, that we're hibernating to write. That's the idea right now. We need to get some material together. We have a bunch of riffs floating around and ideas. Yeah. December is always wonky with the holidays. Everybody's like, doing something for the holidays. So we're trying to just buckle down and just start getting. So we have a ton of ideas throughout the year. A lot of the year was dedicated to we had a bunch of big moments this year that we had to do. We had somebody get engaged at one of our shows this year. We planned for that. Nice. Yeah, that was a whole big thing that we did at one of our concerts, and he guested with us. And it was Matt Cohen, formerly of Sacred Monster, and he jumped up on stage with us and did a Zeppelin. We metalized A Whole Lot of Love.
That's awesome.
And he did that, and then he played with us, and then he proposed to his now fiance, which is awesome. That was at Livewire. So we prepared for a lot of different things this year, but in between we were riffing around and getting stuff on tape. So now it's a matter of all right, let's go through all this stuff. What do we have? And now where do we go from here? So,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So for anyone in the future, if you plan on proposing to your girl or guy,
we're available for weddings
or non-binary, whoever it may be. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We'll put some thought into
it. They're going to create some crazy shit out of it.
We'll put some thought into that. It went really well. We were really happy with how it went down.
Yeah. It was a success. It was very successful. And
congratulations to them, first and foremost. That is beautiful. I love when I hear these creative stories on how the engagements happen. Some of these guys, man, they really put some fucking thought into it and do amazing shit. So that's really fucking cool. They included you guys in on that.
We had her go because she thought it was just him doing his, because he hasn't been on stage in 10 years. So it was like a way for her to see him perform because she's never seen him perform.
Right.
So we did a really heavy version of Whole Lot of Love, which was awesome. And then at the end of it, he thanked his family or whoever was there, and then he went right into it. And it was great. We got photos and everything of the whole thing. It was awesome.
That's cool. I did see something. I did see some of that on there, but I kind of skimmed past it.
It's all
But
good.
no, but that is like really cool. That is awesome that you guys were totally game for that.
Yeah, he's
You
a
know,
good thing,
and she wasn't thinking. Nonetheless, she's thinking, oh, he was a former musician, so it just kind of
yeah,
went hand in hand, and that blended out and worked out beautifully. So that was awesome.
Worked out
So
really
I
nice.
don't know how he kept that a secret for so long. I mean, he was coming to practices with us every week for a good couple months.
Yeah,
that's even better. That's a better cover up because then he's playing with you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
You know,
it was
that's beautiful.
She never suspected her. There's a great photo that our photographer took of her reaction where she's like, "What?" Like, what the fuck? Like, it's an awesome moment. So yeah, I mean,
opportunity moment. Like, get it once, be ready.
yeah, we've had some good moments. Like this year was full of. I'm going to look back on it in the next couple of weeks. Kind of do a little. I do a lot of little retrospective posts on our socials about like what happened this year and things like that. And
right,
that's a big moment this year, along with the 20th anniversary. It was like that's a special thing to happen this year. And
you guys got a lot of cool shit that happened this year.
it was cool. It was
now
good
you're gonna take
to
a
us.
break.
Yeah, we gotta write some stuff. I mean, we're really eager to get to start writing with Sean. Like, that's a big thing for us, is to get him. He did appear on a Hemi record 2 records ago. He did a guest intro vocal one time, but he wasn't with the band at the time. So he's been on a record, but now it's like we got to write with him, and we're excited about doing that and then bring in all that stuff into play and get some new music out there.
All right, so you're working on some music.
Yep.
No official ETA, but maybe 25.
Yeah, I mean that's realistically, yeah, for sure. We're gonna this is the year we're gonna, because as any musician knows, writing it's one thing, then you gotta record it, and then you gotta prep it to release, and you gotta do all the other shit to get it ready.
There's a lot you guys gotta do. It's just like it's literally like a 10-step. It's like the 12-step program, except it's not AA.
I look back at these bands from these metal bands from the 70s and 80s, and they would put out an album every year while on the road full time. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Where like some of these bands have an album every.
I've seen a couple bands that put out 2. They'll do one in the beginning by the end of the year, and some of them are on labels. They'll say, nope, you got to put one by the end of the year. It's like, how the fuck? And they got 11 and 14 tracks on them.
11, 14 tracks, world tours in between. I don't know where the fuck you're writing this stuff. I guess on the bus, you can write all this shit, but like getting in there, recording it, prepping it, and all that stuff, it's mind-boggling. Like
insane.
How people did it back then. Yeah. So creative output's nuts.
No rest for the wicked.
No, we're pretty nice.
So all right, so you guys got some new merch. Where can fans and future fans that you need to catch up with Hemi, because they have been around a minute, just saying. Yeah. Where can they find your merch?
So we were working with Beyond Below the Collar, which is a Chicago-based t-shirt company. One of these, they did this one here. Mm-hmm. We have about 20 shirts with them right now. The thing with Below the Collar is that they are shutting that down. They're owned by 1 Hour Tees, which anybody knows around the city. If you've been in Chicago, you've seen 1 Hour Tees. The big billboards on the highway. Yeah. That's my buddy Cole Caban is the guy on the flexing on the billboard.
Yeah,
but, that's my buddy Colt. But they own Below the Collar. They're shutting that division down, so we're moving to a new t-shirt partner in January. So we're working on that now. Most likely will probably be someone we're already working with, which is Society 6, which is a really awesome merch company that does a lot of this print on demand and whatnot. So probably society6.com, but we'll finalize it in the next few weeks. So I'll announce it on our socials. So check our socials, and we'll let you guys know where we end up moving. But in the meantime, we do have it all direct too. So if you do like it, check it out. The posts are all there. The photos are all on our socials and our website and everything. So take a look. You can still order Below the Collar until the end of the year. But if not, you can get a hold of us directly, and we can set it all up for you.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And now what platform? How many different socials and platforms are you on? Who are you on?
Shit, everything. I spent a lot of. I got carpal tunnel in these hands for doing all that shit. But,
he's the algorithm master,
dude. I try. It's tough out there, man. But we're on everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I even got Tumblr, the new Threads app that that fucking Facebook owns. Everything, whatever is out there, we're on it, and it's just Hemi Music is the socials. All one word, Hemi Music. Look for that, and it'll come right up. So. Just search that in your search bar and you'll see us. You'll see the H, that's us. And the one tricky thing is on Spotify, it's a little tricky. If you type it all in caps, you type Hemi all in caps, that's when we come up. There's a DJ that uses Hemi, and we've been fighting with him for years, and we all cross listings all the time, so it's a pain in the ass. But you'll see the H.
It benefits though, because it introduces you to more fans.
It benefits at the same time.
It introduces the fans to you, I should say. Actually,
sometimes, but it fucks you up too, because sometimes the algorithm thinks that you're a DJ and starts suggesting other electronic music. You're like, wait a minute, no, it's not us. So I've had to fight with a couple streaming platforms to clean up our listings. But no, you'll see us on there. Our photos on there, and then you have the big pointy H. That's our profile. So, but yeah, Hemi Music on everything. Hemimusic.com. If you go to Hemimusic.com, all the links are at the bottom right there. So check it out.
Well, all right. So everyone, keep your eyes peeled. In 25, you got more shit coming up. In the meantime, they got all that new merch. You can look them up everywhere and anywhere.
Anywhere, man. I put all this stuff out there. We post stuff all the time. So take a look.
Right.
If there's something you can't find, let us know. But we're out there. We try to stay busy and connect with people and talk with people. Yeah, we're pretty interactive in that sense. And we love the YouTube and the little shorts and try to do more of those goofy little videos too. We're fun. Yeah. We're not.
I really need to get into those, but then people are going to
see. They're fun.
They're going to make a little goofy side of me. They think they see it all.
Do it. They're fun. We try to be fun. We're not. For the longest time we're like, oh, we should be angry metal band. None of us are angry people. We're nice guys. We don't want to.
I was thinking that when I was playing the video because you look the way you were acting in the video. You were looking like all like, and then I'm like, you look like you were a teddy bear.
It's all in that, baby. It's all
I just want to poke you in the belly. I want to hear you go.
We laugh a lot. Like it's all in that. Like we used to do like the angry metal band pictures, like the lineup shots. You're all looking. But then we're like, what the fuck? This isn't us. We're a bunch of nice guys. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so everyone says I smile too much. They're like, how can you be so happy? I'm like, why do I got to be angry?
Exactly. Why do you be angry?
No, like, if I'm smiling, I'm probably laughing my ass off at something. You just don't know it yet.
Tim, you remember? Like, we look back at some of these old like lineup photos we've done, and we're trying to mean mug.
Cringeworthy, yeah.
We're just like, what the fuck are we doing? This is us.
Right.
I still get it though. Like we'll do shows and like people will come up to us after. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, who is this on stage yelling and fucking, this and that? Like, who the fuck are you guys? Like, they know us. They're like, what are you guys doing? So like, playing a character, baby. Come on.
Exactly. It's all about the character, the stage presence, and what you put out. That's what it comes down to.
It's all a show. It's all a show.
Yes. You guys, Tim, Trent, thank you so much for being out here. This was really fun. Glad I got to know you guys a little bit more. Hope everyone did too, of course. And we will definitely be talking to you soon. You know what? You got a year before you're going to put out your next album. I'll bring you back.
Roughly, yeah. I mean, whenever we're ready, we'll keep you posted on. You'll see the progress on it, and as we get closer, we'll keep you posted. We'll come back on, and we'll plug. We're gonna. You can help us plug it. We'll plug it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We will not be having a podcast for the rest of the year. They are the last for 2023 for the Savage Ladies because the holidays falls on a Sunday. And not doing it. But our first podcast, when we come back in January, we are doing a different kind of podcast we have not done. I'm putting this out there real quick. First of the Savage kind. It's still an interview, but it's real talk. It's about things that a lot of people hear about in the music scene, but they don't know or understand the details of what happens in the back behind closed doors as musicians. And you'll just have to tune in. And I think I might be doing a little bit more of these kind of interviews / real talks. I mean, the interviews are great and all, but there's a lot of stories, a lot of things the fans don't know about that what the musicians go through. And I want to be able to get that out there so they can understand, they're not what their depressions, what they're going through in life. It's no different than anybody else, except it's just different stories, and this one will be about drinking. The social aspect and pressures of drinking and what the music scene, how that encourages it in many ways, unfortunately. And this is going to be a one of a kind, the first of its kind for the interviews for Savages. It's going to be the first one of the year. So moving on to that, you guys have an awesome holiday. Thank you again for joining us. And I will definitely talk to you guys very soon.
Awesome. Talk to you then. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah. Thanks.